Lawsuit over home repairs by Jason Duggar, dismissed with prejudice in Benton County. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. BN2 and VILE. A lawsuit accusing a former reality TV star of pretending to have a contractor's license and failing to complete work on a home for a Benton County man was dismissed Thursday. Fayetteville attorney Andrew Myers filed the lawsuit September 10 on behalf of Mark Thompson in Benton County Circuit Court against Madison Holding LLC and Jason Duggar. Thompson requested to dismiss the suit in a motion filed Thursday. That same day, Circuit Judge Christine Horwart dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. The motion to dismiss did not say why Thompson requested dismissal of the lawsuit. Duggar is one of the sons of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. The Duggar family was featured on the television shows 19 Kids and Counting and Counting On. The complaint claimed Thompson entered into a contract to purchase a Bella Vista home from Madison Holding, and Duggar was the contractor. The lawsuit claimed Duggar reported he had a contractor's license, but it argued the Arkansas Contractors Licensing Board does not have the license on file. Thompson was claiming breach of contract, negligence, fraud, and breach of warranties. In October, Duggar and Madison Holding filed an answer generally denying any wrongdoing and asking that the case be dismissed. Duggar maintained he operates using the contractor's license of the company, Buildmaster Construction. A subsequent motion to dismiss argued Thompson was not privy to the contract because Duggar never executed a contract with Thompson, and therefore Thompson did not have standing to sue. Jason Duggar did not sell the property, did not purchase the property, nor did he personally, or through his business known as Buildmaster Construction, enter into a buy/sell agreement with the plaintiff, according to the motion to dismiss. Jessa Duggar Seawald confirms pregnancy with baby number 6. Jessa Duggar Seawald has been living her best life, raising 5 kids. She gave birth to her 5th child, George, 15 months ago. Since then, she has become less active on her social media and YouTube. She shares weekly updates about her family, especially when it comes to her kids' homeschooling. But many were surprised when Jessa returned with a pregnancy announcement post. Keep reading to see the exciting news. Counting on Jessa Duggar's adorable content with her family. Many of Jessa's posts are about photos and clips of her kids. Last month, the Counting On alum left many fans in awe after sharing George's first haircut. Many were stunned by his big blue eyes, which became more noticeable due to his haircut. Aside from George, Jessa has also entertained many fans with her son Spurgeon's sayings, where he shares some of the most random statements to his mother. Some fans have also noticed Jessa's unusual absence, especially on YouTube. But it seems pregnancy is the main reason for her sudden disappearance. Jessa pregnant with baby number 6. In a social media post, Jessa Duggar Seawald announced that she's expecting her 6th child. Many were also surprised when the Counting On alum said she was already halfway holding the baby's arms, indicating that she's been pregnant for quite some time. Jessa has yet to share the gender of her upcoming child, but the Duggar family is known to gather for baby gender reveals, and Jessa may follow the tradition. Several fans and families also congratulated Ben's wife. Counting on, are there any other pregnant Duggars today? Aside from Jessa, Jinger is also expecting a 3rd child with her husband, Jeremy Volo. The Counting On alums announced the big news last October. Jinger is expected to welcome her 3rd child this month, along with Jeremiah and Hannah's 3rd baby. Several Duggars have stepped away from social media. Some of them are Kendra and Joseph. The two have welcomed secret babies behind cameras, making many fans curious if they're expecting again. Jim, Bob, and Michelle have yet to resurface despite all their new grandbabies, but the two still appear in some of the Duggar kids' vlogs and social media posts. especially when there's a huge gathering at the big house. Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar. The parents of 19 and grandparents of over 36 little ones started out as high school sweethearts. Michelle has recalled being saved at 15. Then, one night, Jim Bob was making home outreach visits on behalf of his Baptist church, and he ended up knocking on the Rourke family's door after his friend told him that this girl from school that just got saved and is a cheerleader lived there. They invited Michelle to Sunday school at their church, and Jim Bob said he prayed to God that they could be each other's spiritual leaders, though apparently their first meeting wasn't as memorable for Michelle. A year later, she applied for a job at the frozen yogurt shop owned by Jim Bob's parents. "You came to the counter where I was standing by the cash register and introduced yourself," Michelle remembered in a letter posted on the family blog in 2017 for Jim Bob's birthday and their 33rd wedding anniversary. "You were shy but very sweet. I really don't remember much about that conversation, except that you finally mustered up the courage to ask me if I would go to your junior-senior banquet with you." She attended the dinner with him at Shiloh Christian, but it was when they hung out afterward discussing the Bible for hours at her parents' house that she knew. "From there, we believe our hearts were knit together," Michelle has said. "We graduated high school in May of 1984 and were married in July. I was 17 and Jim Bob was 19. 40 years later, the couple dedicated themselves to God and each other for the long run." Jim Bob is a former state legislator, having served in the Arkansas House of Representatives for the 6th District from 1999 until 2002, during which he was vice chair of the House of Corrections and Criminal Law Subcommittee. A run for U.S. Senate in 2002 ended in the primary, as did a bid in 2006 to become the Republican nominee for Arkansas State Senate District 35. He and Michelle, who are both licensed realtors, have been active in conservative causes, an aspect of their lifestyle that won them and 19 Kids and Counting, which premiered in 2008 as 17 Kids and Counting, both proud supporters and fierce critics. As of October 2024, they were grandparents of 33 with 3 on the way. Josh Duggar and Anna Keller. Eldest Duggar child Josh Duggar was born March 3, 1988. He too became a conservative activist, campaigning for the Family Research Council. He stepped down after old police records surfaced in 2015, revealing that he had been accused of molesting several girls, including his sisters Jessa Duggar and Jill Duggar, when he was a teenager. Jessa defended her brother in a sit-down with Fox News that June, insisting that the worst names people were calling Josh were so overboard and a lie, really. "I mean, people get mad at me for saying that, but I can say this because I was one of the victims." Born October 23, 2021. In a federal indictment filed in April 2021, Josh was charged with a count apiece of receipt and possession of child pornography. He pleaded not guilty on both counts. In 2022, Josh was found guilty of both, but the possession charge was vacated by the judge and sentenced to 12.5 years in prison. John David Duggar and Jana Duggar. Shortly after Josh was born, Michelle got pregnant again but suffered a miscarriage. While she and Jim Bob were still grieving that loss and praying for guidance, they found out that twins were on the way. "We felt it was a double blessing," she told Love to Know. "God was encouraging our hearts. We're still learning. It's really so unusual because I breastfeed my babies, but my children are so close together. I have a baby, and then 8 months later I'm expecting. Just another unusual thing the Lord has seen fit to do with our situation." John David Duggar and his twin sister Jana Duggar were born on January 12, 1990. John David Duggar and Abby Grace Burnett. After a whirlwind courtship, they did know of each other for several years, before meeting at a church event in Abby's home state of Oklahoma. And a short engagement, John David and Abby Grace Burnett got married on November 3, 2018. What the other one is thinking. Well, John, I've always answered that with a no, but now I can honestly say that the day little Gracie was born, I felt every bit of happiness that you did, so I guess it must be real. Jana continued, "It's so sweet watching you and Abby as parents. You're naturals, and the same qualities that have made you a wonderful brother will also make you an amazing dad." Jana Duggar M. Stephen Wisman. Jana watched 11 of her 18 brothers and sisters get married before she found love with Stephen Wisman, whose sister married later. Jana told People in August 2024, shortly before her wedding. "Each of our stories will be written differently. If we were all the exact same, it would be a boring life. Jim Bob played matchmaker, and Jill and Derek hit it off, growing closer over email and Skype. Father and daughter went to visit Derek in Nepal that November, and Jill and Derek continued to fall for each other. In February 2014, Derek asked Jim Bob for his daughter's hand in marriage, and they tied the knot on June 21, 2014. They are parents to 3 sons, Israel, born on April 6. Jason Duggar, and Ben Seawald. Jim Bob and Michelle's 5th child, Jason Duggar, was born November 4, 1992. Jessa met Ben through church, and he began courting her in 2013, the old-fashioned approach to romance coming as a brand new notion to a lot of viewers. The kids never talked about their romances pre-engagement, so Jim Bob explained to People, "Courting is getting to know each other in a group setting, both families spending time together, and the couple setting goals together to determine if they are meant to marry. With dating, a couple will often pair off alone, and that sometimes leads to a more physical relationship." Ben asked for Jessa's hand and then proposed in August 2014, sealing the deal by holding her hand for the first time. They married on November 1, 2014. Jessa was pregnant with their first child when 19 Kids and Counting was canceled, and TLC subsequently aired a special about sexual abuse, featuring Jill and Jessa, to further educate viewers on the subject. The sisters would end up the stars of their own show, Jill and Jessa. Counting On, that winter, the show then evolved to become Counting On, featuring Jinger Duggar M. Jeremy Volo. The 6th Duggar child, Jinger Volo, was born December 21, 1993. Jinger and Jeremy met doing ministry work in Laredo, Texas, and started courting in 2016. They married on November 5, 2016, the bride's nephew Spurgeon's birthday, but you just try not overlapping milestones when you're one of 19, and were promptly the subject of pregnancy rumors. Where we see ourselves in a year is probably just settled down, still doing ministry here in Laredo, and just seeking to serve the Lord. However, Week and Jinger said on a June 2017 episode of Counting On met through church at his sister Joyanna's wedding in May 2017 after just a few months of courting. "I was definitely nervous going into it, but I wasn't afraid that she was going to say no, because she has said, 'I'm just waiting on you,' Joseph told People after Pop